Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. Nothing's changed. I'm looking at all this as corrective, and we come down and get a lower low here. Very similar to what happened over here. We got like 3 down. I'm looking at this, pretty much the same thing. The 3 down over here. H4, well, there's been opportunities to get into the short. A few, so you're pretty much already on it. If you're trading this, you're already on it. H1, there's really not much either. You could still look for sells. But yeah, if you got 3 up in here and you got a sell set up, you could look for another one down, just scalping. But yeah, not much has changed on DXY. AU on the daily, looking at this A, B, a C up in here, like we have been for a while. This was very messy in here, and it's finally starting to break out. So we do have the end of the B wave here now. We're just waiting for a retracement here. Really got to wait for a retracement. So I'd be waiting for a retracement, and 3 down, like something like, 3 down in here, and then you could look for an A, B, C. And again, same as last week. Nothing's really changed since last week because this has kept on going up. So we're just waiting for that correction. And I'd be targeting this 100 fib here. GU on the daily, this has been looking very corrective for more upside here. But this one, you've got to be a little bit careful. If I just zoom in here a bit. There's a couple of scenarios here on this one, because this can be like an A, a B, and a C up, and we get a flat here, and then we get an A, B, C, finishing off this B wave, and then we get the A, B, and the C up. So this one, yeah, there's a couple of different scenarios here. And you're pretty much already on it. If you'd be already in the buy. There's another buy here. There was flat here, but like I mentioned last week, we got getting 5 up. So we wait for this wave 4 now. So we need a correction of similar size to this over here. And then we can look for a wave 5 up. So, yeah, I mean, there is no sell on it to sell into this wave 4. And I'd be very cautious buying because we have all this bearish divergence. We've got the bearish divergence there already on the H1. So it'd be very risky to even scalp the buys at this stage. The safest way is to wait for this wave 4, like I showed on the H4, and then trade this wave 5 up. But that could take a couple of weeks yet to get this wave 4. EU pretty much played out how we wanted it, like that A, B, C hitting that 100 pip. It's been staying up the top here. But yeah, this here you got to be very careful of too. we sort of have like 1, 2, 3. You got to wait for a wave 4 and a wave 5, trade a wave 5 up in here too. It's very similar to GU, like I showed last week. So yeah, we're pretty much waiting for wave 4s, and then we can trade a wave 5 up on the H4. NU on the daily, we're waiting for this like A, B, C here. The larger one, it didn't go. Unfortunately, I was looking for this like A, all this is a B, and we get a C up here. Instead, we got this really large correction. I'm looking to get on this, but I've got to wait for the retracement. We got the nice impulse up. We're just waiting for the retracement. A correction, and then we can look to buy. So I'd be looking for something like this, some sort of we may get some sort of a flat in there and 3 down like 1, 2, 3. A nice correction, and then if we get a buy set up, we can buy. Up to that 100 fib I just showed. GY's kept on going up. This can be, well, I've already mentioned this too. Nothing's really changed on the daily. This can be like a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up in here, and then we get like an A, all this is a B, and we get a C down, flat, before we get more upside. At this stage, I'd be, you be careful buying. This stayed in here for quite some time. It was looking bullish. We were looking for the buy to go and break the top. Well, it's done that. We're getting all that bearish divergence. It becomes risky. I mean, you could definitely look for a scalp in this. It looks very much bullish. If you've got it's just scalping though on the lower time frames just to break the top. Yeah. Other than that, there is no sell setup. For a sell setup, we would want this top here broken, nice impulse down, a correction, and then we could look for a sell. But until that happened, there is no sell on it. And it's more bullish than anything at this stage by looking at the price action. UI, on the daily, I'm sort of looking at an A, B, C in here. This can turn really complex because we're where we are right at the top of the market. So this may turn into a flat here, like an A, B, C flat, and then you get the A, B, C before you get that larger A, B, C. So, that's just what I'm thinking looking at the price action, on the daily, because this is the choppiest wave here. So I'm looking at this as the B wave. So we get an A, B, C in here. But again, it's not really giving us any sell setups. We got the 5 up in here on the H4. This was looking very bullish here too, and I had that ball hidden. It didn't go. Gave a nice impulse up. We had a nice impulse up, and I was waiting for a correction in here to buy. Well, this doesn't look like a correction yet. That just looks like an impulse. So I'd be waiting for some sort of a 3 up in here, like 1, 2, 3 up in here, and then an A, B, C in here before I'd be looking for the A, B, C up. Yeah, I would be staying out of it altogether at this stage. So USD CAD, we're looking for a wave Z down here, and it's pretty much playing out. You're either on it or you're not. It's too late to get in it now. You'd be waiting for a wave four. Right, we got 1, 2, 3. You got to wait for a wave four here. Ideally, we get some sort of a bear hidden there, and we trade a wave 5 down. So again, we're really waiting for these wave fours before we trade. So yeah, that'll give you plenty of time to enjoy your Christmas holidays. Waiting for this correction, and then after the holidays, it might be ready to buy for that 5th wave. USD Swiss franc, nothing's changed. Looking at the A, B, C, looking at all this as corrective and more downside still. It's very difficult to trade. I really need these lows, all these lows to be broken, and then a nice impulse up to buy. Overall, I'm more interested in a buy, but it's still very much bearish. So, yeah, there's really not much on it at all. I mean, this was looking very bullish, and it just, I thought that would have gone up and broken that top, but it never did. So there was some sort of a flat here, I guess. For 1, 2, 3, we get a wave 4, and you trade a wave 5 down again. So yeah, I'd be leaving it alone. There's really not much on it. EG, we got the 5 up, waiting for that larger correction, and that's all I'm doing. I'd be leaving this alone. If you were looking for a buy after this impulse here, you got to be careful at this stage because we do have a bear hidden there. So you'd want this top here, like this top here, to be broken first, taking out that possible bear hidden, and then if you got a correction, well, you could scalp buy, going with the overall trend. But yeah, really not much on it. WTI, like I've been saying for a long time, I'm hoping that low gets broken and then we get this A, B, and a C up. I'm looking for that C up. On the H4, I've been saying for, well, probably 3 weeks now, or maybe 4. But I'm looking at all this as corrective, even like just for an A, B, C. But if you remember what I said last week, we had that bear hidden here. So we were waiting for this low to be broken. And then if you get a buy set up, you could buy. Even if this low here is broken, I'd still be looking at all this as a B wave, and we still get A, B, and we look for a C up, a scalp. It's really just a scalp. And then I'd dare say we get more downside. But yeah, just waiting for a buy setup on it basically. And it just hasn't been giving that. Gold right up the top of the market on the daily. Not much to see there. Looking at all this as possibly corrective. Well, it does look very corrective. So I'd be looking for something like an A. All this is a B, and we get a C down. In the meantime, like we may get a flat in here, like an A, B, C in here flat, and then we get like an A, B, C breaking the top, and then we get an A, B, C larger flat before we get more upside. So yeah, there's really nothing on this either. You just be scalping with the trend, which is it's up. The trend's up. Yeah, it's really not much. I mean, I dare say there's more upside in it because I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of a bull hidden in here and then another one up, breaking that top, and then maybe, it falls over for us, but get a sell set up and falls over. But yeah, there's really not much on it at all unless you're scalping, and it's pretty much the same with all of them. Silver, very similar to gold, right up the top of the market. We've been waiting for this B wave for a long time. We're waiting for a B wave in here, and then we can trade a C up. But yeah, again, this here you have to be very careful selling at this stage, because we do have a bull hidden there. So we sort of have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can get away 5 up. And if I zoom in, this could be expanding flat here. And that's see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, you've got to be quite careful. Even though we do have an impulse down here. So that's one scenario. We get a 5th wave up in here. But if this is very slow here, and looks very corrective on the lower time frames, we have a nice impulse down from the top. So if we get a correction like this and a sell setup, well, you could look for 3 down. But you'd have to keep in mind what I showed first, like that 1, 2, 3, 4, and a possible wave 5 up. You'd have to take that in consideration if you are selling. And so Bitcoin, we got a nice impulse down here. We're waiting for this correction. Nothing's changed. It could take quite a while before we get this correction, and then I'll be looking for 3 down, like A, B, C. So again, really nothing to see on this at all. We're getting higher highs. Very difficult to trade. Get a high, deep retracement, get a high, deep retracement, and it can do this for a long time. So it's safer just to stay out of it until we get that correction. And then when you get the sell set up, you can look for a sell. But yeah, at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if we still get more upside, like up in here, breaking these tops. And well, these tops over here. Yeah. So yeah, not really much on it at all to trading wise at this stage. Oh, if I just go back there quickly, um, you know, for the sell, I'd want a high here and a nice impulse down, and then a correction, and then I could look for the sell until I got all this. Well, it's more bullish, and yeah, be very careful buying. S&P 500 went up and broke the top, I believe it did, and yeah. So we're looking at this as a flat in here to go. But yeah, I'd be looking for the sell now on the H1. We're at a top and we've got an impulse down. So I would be looking for a correction. Like on the M15, we've probably got 1, 2, 3. We get a wave 4 and a wave 5 down. But wherever this ends on the M15, I'd be waiting for a larger correction and then looking for at least an A, B, C. So if we get a correction next week, you could look for a sell for 3 down. AU200, there's a couple of scenarios like I mentioned. This may be a flat here and we go up and break the top. That's one scenario. Or this is the top here and this is the start of the correction. And we get 3 down in here before we get A, B, C. I mean, this was looking bullish here, just for 3 up. So, you could look for a sell. We got 3 up now. So if you got a nice impulse down in here, a correction, you could look to sell to go and break this low here. Again, the FTSE, we're waiting. We got a nice impulse up. We're waiting for a correction, and then we can buy it. In the shorter term, we're waiting. We were actually waiting for this 1, 2, 3 up. We do have that now. So if you get a sell set up on this, we'd be looking for at least A, B, C. This looks quite good, actually. So looking for at least 3 down. Is there a sell on it? I don't believe there's a sell on it, but there isn't a sell yet. I'd really be waiting to break this low. Ideally, this wave here, well, this impulse breaks that low, gives us a nice correction, and then we can sell. Targeting, well, the first target's at 100 fib. If I go back to the 100 H4, I'll show you the targets. So your first target is that 100 fib. Your second target is at 161.8. Lastly, the DAX. We were looking at this last week as this can be definitely completed as a correction. Like we had that one A, B, C here, A, B, C flat, like I showed last week, and this goes up and breaks the top with an A, B, C. It's given an impulse up here. I don't believe that top there's broken. No, it hasn't. It's going to be very difficult to trade. It was more on the lower time frames. This was the first one to get in on, and then there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a five waves up. Yeah. I mean, I'd be looking at UCAD. Sorry, the FTSE, rather than trading the DAX at this stage, because this still could, give us more upside. For a sell, want to come down, break this low here, and then give you a correction, and then you could look for like 3 down. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you got something out of this weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.